Imagine this, a man who turned all his big dreams into reality suddenly gets kicked out of the very world he created. Steve Jobs, the man who grew Apple from a tiny garage to one of the biggest companies in the world, was one day thrown out of that very world he had built. Why? Because no one could keep up with his bold ideas and creative vision. In fact, Apple's board of directors, including John Scully, asked him to step down because his style of leading and his ideas didn't match the company's new direction. In 1985, a meeting was held at Apple's office. No one knew what would happen to Steve. The board members gathered together, and whispers filled the room. Steve is no longer right for this company. The man who had created this company was now being asked to leave. Yes, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he founded. For Steve, this moment felt like the sky falling down on him. He said, "I felt like the ground had been pulled out from under me. I had given my life to Apple, and now I had nothing." It was as if someone had taken away the world he had built with his own hands. Steve went home, alone and sad. He stared at the wall for hours. His mind was full of questions. Why did this happen? Is it all over? Can I still create something new? But in that darkness, a spark lit up in his heart. He realized this wasn't the end. Maybe being fired was just a chance for a fresh start. He got to work. He started a company called Next, which seemed like just a small hope. But to Steve, it was a big new beginning. At the same time, he bought a small animation studio called Pixar and changed the world of animation. Pixar made films that still touch people's hearts, like Toy Story. But that wasn't the end of the story. Something unbelievable happened. In 1997, Apple, which was struggling, needed Steve again. They asked him to come back and save the company. Steve returned, this time stronger, wiser, and filled with new big ideas. He designed products like the iMac, iPod, and of course, the iPhone, and turned Apple into one of the biggest companies in the world. Steve later said, "Being fired from Apple was the best thing that ever happened to me. It gave me the freedom to be creative again and make mistakes. I rebuilt my life."